All right, everyone. It's all about you, number two. In our last episode, we talked about how we can have a great life, but still have an empty feeling inside, or we are not happy in the level of our success. In our previous episode, we talked about how our true identity is very different than our survival identity, the one which is just a collection of pieces of a puzzle that we put together in a frame, and we thought this is who we are, and is not. And the distinction between that frame and who we truly are, our true identity, is what is making us feel empty, is what that makes us feel a bit lonely, okay? Because we are not living our true identity, because we are disconnected with who we truly are. We may don't have any problem of not having people around us. We may be so busy, but still feel alone and not seen. So here we want to talk about what should we do in order to decrease this distinction. Okay, we want to go through the journey that can reconnect us with ourselves. What can help us? What are the tools? And what kind of being will help us? I want to talk about a kind of being that can help you through this journey. As we know, we as human beings need safety. This is our instinct that tries hard to assure our safety. And that was why we developed that identity, that survival identity. If you want to know more about it, you can go to episode 1. I can explain a bit about it. Because we needed safety, and this was our main agenda, and this is so good and help us. We developed a kind of identity which was acceptable, which people around us are okay with it, don't harm it, will provide for it. But because we stayed to those environments, we kept living like that, we kept choosing people who were like that were matching that survival identity of ours. And now that we feel that emptiness, we want to go deeper and question it. And we know that it has been shaped based on fear, based on controlling fear, okay? It doesn't mean that you were not a courageous person. It means that you are human, okay? But now that you have found that something is missing, you're gonna need your courageous characteristic. And for finding your true identity, you need to become more curious. You have to become more curious about truth about who you are, even the simplest things, about what you like, what you prefer to do, what kind of experiences you want to have in your life. And the other thing, which is so deep, is that to become curious about your connections and how you play games in your different connections with your partner, with your family, with your friends, and try to be courageous enough to see the hidden truth behind your connections, because we all know everything. But because sometimes, not all the time, sometimes truth is hard, especially when the hard truth is about our closest people, especially those who are supposed to support us. So if it's about your parents, your partner, it's gonna be harder, okay? So you know the truth, but your nervous system and the fact that you are a human being and you protect yourself from any kind of threat, and losing connection is the biggest fear of us as human beings. So you acted like that and you try to forget what the truth is, maybe. And now if you want to get closer to your true identity, you need to start and hold yourself in this new way of being, to be curious about truth. even in the hard situations. So this new kind of being can help you a lot, but you have to know something, that you need safety even for being courageous. Okay. And when we are child, safety is in its lowest levels that we need. We need a roof, we need someone to care about us, to feed us, and like that. But now that you are listening to me, you're a mature human being. Most of you have everything in basic level, or you can find it, you can build something for yourself. So you are not that helpless creature that seriously need to be taken care of. So now developing and living this courage is not ruining the basic levels of safety. And now it's time for you to understand that there is a very, very, very deeper level of safety that you can provide for yourself. And it happens through the journey that you are remembering yourself, and who you become through this journey. And finally, you can create the safest space for yourself within yourself. Okay, so I want you to be safe for yourself even in the start of this journey. I want you to know that you can handle it, even if you face the hardest truth. I'm sure you can handle it. Okay, you don't need to be loud about it, do anything about it at first. Okay, you just want to be more curious about truth in your connections, okay, in your relationships, and about yourself, in a way to know more about our hobbies, what we want to do, how we want to experience life, and more deeper about how we connect to people, how are our current relationships, how we communicate with them, what are the hidden games behind our relationships, are they healthy, is there any problem, am I shrinking myself to make them feel easier, am I feel forced to be in a kind of way to make them happy, or am I ghosting some parts of my need? What am I doing, and how am I experiencing those relationships? Are they making me more alive, more who I am? Do they make me to love myself more? A healthy relationship never goes to this path of to a path that the result is you become separated from who you are, or to feel lost, or to feel confused. So we want to be more curious. And about the first part that I told you, be more curious about what you like. You have to know that when you go through what you like, I'm not just speaking about fun things. That's why I'm explaining too much. It's not about fun things. When we do it, for sure we have a better feeling. But maybe you want to just go and study something new, or whatever comes to your mind. And I'm saying that you may not see the logic behind it, but first of all, it's a kind of self-respect when you pay attention to it and act based on it. And second, you're just a complex of different talents, different characteristics, and you don't know how it's gonna help you, but it will bring up some talents, some new experiences of yourself that you don't know about it, but as a result it just happens. So it's important to be curious about what you like to do. So we started with this, that this is all about you. If you're not living a life which has inner fulfillment, it means that you are not living who you are. There's a space between who you are, who you truly are, and the one who you learned to be through your life. And now we want to go through this journey to return to ourselves. And the first step was to know and have this kind of way of thinking. And then after that, we have to start this way of being, of curiosity about who we are and what is happening around us, being curious about truth in our connections and relationships, in who we are, in what we like, and also in hidden games within our home, our friendship, our workplace. And you probably are one of the people who get help from psychologists, or you are curious about your awareness journey. You try to be a self-aware person, and you may use different method of psychology for helping yourself, and that's great. But there's something that I need you to know, which is so important when you are in this self-awareness journey. And I have talked about it in my first episode of Rethinking Healing. And it's about how you see yourself and what is your relationship with yourself through the journey of healing. It is so important for you to know that you don't need to change, okay, who you are right now, that needed some changes, is not who you truly are. It's just a survival identity, okay? If you think you need to change, unconsciously, it shape a kind of thinking about yourself as a problem that need to be fixed. You don't need to be fixed. You need to remember that identity, okay? That identity. If you think you have the problem, if you think you are the problem, who can run from himself or herself? Okay? You're gonna go to a kind of fight with yourself, which will very slow down your journey, which can make you just go through an endless cycle of always fixing yourself, questioning yourself. I really want you to listen to the first episode to just get it better, because the connection that you have with yourself, if that ruins, you are ruining the main tool in your healing journey, okay? And you become a self-doubt engine that become a great hunt for people like narcissists and those who doesn't care about others, because you always give them the benefit of doubt. And that was just an example, but the very important point is that the relationship you have with yourself through healing journey is what make the journey useful, or just another way that we entertain ourselves with to kill time, to kill for sure it has its own benefits, even we are not connected to ourselves. So the relationship you have with yourself is so important. It shouldn't be based on blame and based on that, oh, I have to change, I am not good enough, okay? It should be based on this, that because of what happened in my life, I am disconnected from myself, and I am courageously aware, and I'm standing for myself, and I will do whatever it needs to dig out my true identity. And that will shape a very different journey, Most of us are not looking at our healing journey like this, but when we decide to look at it in this way, I'm sure that the journey will be so different, and you will be the owner of your journey. And in this way, you will be the one who is in charge, not your therapist, not other people, not other sources. You are in charge, and you will figure out that what will help you, what will not, even that way has helped other people. Okay. Thank you. I hope it can help you. I'm sure it will help. I see you and thank you for your presence.